All right. What I'm tying here today is it's a parachute, a March Brown parachute, but I tie it with a mottled body, so a multicolored body, which I really think helps to sell it to trout. I have some nice thin, this is 12/0 thread. I'm gonna get started on the hook shank. I have a little hurricane blowing back here, so my materials are blowing away, but you can get that straightened away. So the tail of it is wood duck. To me, wood duck belongs on every fly that's ever tied. Stuff has got amazing markings in it. It's not especially stiff, so not a super great tailing material, but the markings are so good. Just about a hook shank in length. Transfer that measurement rearward. And importantly, one of the things I'm going to do so that those fibers land right on top of the hook shank, I'm pulling up and toward me as I take thread wraps. That way they land right on top of the hook shank. I'm going to go back up, wind back up right to my initial tie-in point, which is where I want the wing post to be. Wing post is polypropylene floating yarn. It's really the only stuff that's kind of stiff enough for a wing post using the technique that I do here. So I'm going to take one end, really nice tight wraps rearward, and then snip off that little short end at a nice angle, just so we have a ramp down to the hook shank. That looks like about the right position for the wing post. I'm going to twist it up a lot and then fold it over. And this produces a post, it's furled. And so twist it up like a cinnamon twist. It gives the post a lot of structure. It keeps it self-contained. It just does everything right for a post. And if you notice, it's locked down both front and back on the fly, so it has less of a tendency to twist around the slippery hook shank than, say, a post that's locked down at one point. Now, here's the fun stuff. I'm going to use two different colors of superfine dubbing to kind of mimic the coloration, the mottled look of a March Brown tri-fly. It's sort of important to have your tools ready to go before you start this procedure. So two different colors of dubbing. You're going to have a dubbing whirl and some plunger style hackle pliers. Take out a little clump of each dubbing just to have it ready. Another clump of yellow. Doesn't matter which we do first here. I'm going to use the darker dubbing, just a single dubbing noodle. Nice slender noodle. Something like that. Now I'll bring it into the loop. This is where it gets a little different. I'm not sure I've seen anybody else do this, but like anything in fly tying, they probably have at some time. So I have two separate noodles on my tying thread. I hope you can see them from there. Take my dubbing whirl, insert it to the bottom of the loop, and then give the whole thing a good spin. And it spins those two dubbing noodles into like this multicolored rope, which is really cool. I really don't like wrapping with a dubbing whirl. They're big and heavy. So I'll take a couple wraps around the hook of my plunger style hackle pliers, snip off the dubbing whirl, and I get to wrap with this now, which is real easy to do. I'm gonna go back to the base of the tail and then move my tying thread forward right in front of the post. Here's the cool part, is when I start wrapping the multicolored noodle, it makes for a multicolored body on the fly, but it also, because it's kind of like a rope, it gives some natural segmentation to the fly. And because, you know, it's 2 strands of dubbing noodles twisted up in a rope with tying thread, it's also pretty darn strong. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go forward, see if I can get this to spin around. Right in front of the post. And I'm going to lock this off here because what I want to, you can see it's not filled in below the post. I like the thorax to be a little bulbous and darker. It's kind of that way on the natural. So I'll take some more dubbing, make a single dubbing noodle, really, really thin here, and use that noodle to build up a little thorax, just fill in that area right around the wing post. See how that side looks? Looks pretty good. I got the mottled body going. I'm gonna stop right there. So with one of the best dry flies you can get, everybody knows it, is an Adams parachute or an Adams Catskill style. What makes that fly so good, in my estimation anyway, is it's the mix of brown and grizzly hackle. That's the only major difference between that and other dry flies. But I don't see why it has to be brown and grizzly. If you take 2 different hackle capes, like these 2, they sort of complement the dubbing, and mix them together, you can get that mottled effect on your parachute that you get with the brown and grizzly on an Adams. And so I'll select an appropriately sized feather of each of these. That's about the right length for a parachute. This is from a breeder in New York State, Charlie Collins, amazing hackle, and this is a natural color. This is not dyed. That's a natural ginger. Natural ginger, yep. I should lock it away in the safety deposit box when I'm not using it, to be honest with you. And this is a Grizzly dun, I think they call it.
Yeah, it's got a little brownish.
Yeah, brownish tint. It's not quite grizzly, not quite brown, and I just lost that feather. That was a beauty too. Oh, there's a big dog. That's the one I want. I could make 6 flies. So what I do, and this is important too, I'm gonna go with the shiny sides or front sides of both feathers facing me. That's important because of the way I want these hackle feathers to wrap. Strip off the lower fuzzy fibers from both feathers at the same time, and then I'm just going to strip off a little more from just the top edges of each. I'm going to lay the stems across the front of the post, and as I wrap, I've got all that structure from the furled post and the 2 hackle stems going up there. I don't even have to grip that post as I wrap up. And then I can wrap just all the way back down. Leave the thread on the near side of the hook in front of the post, and then I rotate. Oh, first I'm going to snip the hackle stems off, sorry. I'm going to rotate about 90 degrees in my vise. So importantly, I'm going to leave my tying thread here, and I take both feathers together and I'm wrapping behind my tying thread. And the reason is that because you have to kind of pull up on the weight of the bobbin, it keeps those feathers sandwiched really close together. And you may even be able to see this already, is that it makes for just this beautiful mottled, oh boy, there we go, sorry, almost lost it. Parachute hackle. that's not unlike brown and grizzly. It's that mix of colors. The only really tricky part here is you got to be very careful doing a whip finish here. You can't pull too hard. Seat the knot really well, and then I'm just going to actually cut my tying thread free like that. Make sure that everything is oriented correctly, and I'm going to flip it back to the normal orientation in my tying vise. If you got any wonky little fibers that stick up, it doesn't really matter, but they're so easy to snip off. Then what I do is just sort of estimate, snip a post. It's about a hook shank tall. Important though is to add a drop of head cement. This is Sally Hansen Hard as Nails, right to the thread wraps, one single drop. And so it seals the thread wraps so they don't come unraveled, but almost more importantly, it cements the delicate hackle stem to the post. And so the fly is very difficult to blow up, even with aggressive false casting. The other advantage here, it's very, very subtle, but because I wrapped with the cup of the feather down, you get those points, hackle points pointing down as opposed to up. And the only way to do that without trapping a whole bunch of hackle fibers is to wrap them up the post as opposed to wrapping them down. The end result is you can see the underbody of this fly is super, super clean. There's no thread wraps, there's no hackle fibers pointing down, there's nothing obscuring the eye that would prevent it from, prevent you from tying it on with 5X or something like that. So yeah, I really like the way they're coming out with the mottled bodies, plus that modeling, that's very subtle modeling, the grizzly and that cream in the hackle collar. It just kind of looks buggy and natural and kind of mimics movement. So my name's Tim Flagler. I have a YouTube channel. It's over 750 tying videos on the YouTube channel. And they're all free of charge to look at. This fly will be going up sometime soon, hopefully, on that YouTube channel. But it's a mottled March brown. And what I mean by mottled is the light and dark coloration. Very natural looking coloration. Very few of these bugs are all one color. So to me, getting that modeling in there is very, very important. And it's a very different parachute method than most people are accustomed to, but give it a try, see whether you like it. I'm from New Jersey, fish in Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, and this is one of the earlier hatches, and really hoping for good things this year with that hatch. So that's it, a mottled parachute March brown.